Harry here with Never Again Action out here in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and I am with hundreds of Jews here to protest ICE and the concentration camps and the racist policies and treatment of immigrants in this country that we're seeing. We are out here to show as Jews that when we say never again, we mean it. We mean never again. And we've seen concentration camps coming up on the border and all over, and increased raids and violence against immigrant communities throughout this country. And we know that never again is now. We can't wait and see what happens next. So we are out here, and we are going outside this ICE detention facility to shut it down, because we know that our politicians in this administration and Congress is not only not doing anything to stop these concentration camps, but are continuing to fund ICE. And so if they're not willing to put an end to these atrocities, then we the people have to ourselves. So when we say never again, we mean never again for anyone. And so I'm out here with all of these Jews.
Racist ICE has got to go! Oh, racist ICE has got to go! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey!
Never again means never again. As Jews, we've been told for years, we've been saying for years, never again would we ever let anything like the Holocaust ever again. And we're seeing it. We can't just sit around and wait for the... As Jews, we're out here in support of our allies and also for ourselves. And we're honoring our ancestors who died in the Holocaust, who survived the Holocaust. Because we said that we would never let anything like this happen again. And so now we're out here singing and chanting in support of the people in our own country that are facing the same atrocities that we faced 80 years ago.
Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho!
And
Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Oh, ho! Racist ICE has
I don't know where she
got
is.
to go!
And the reality is, this is not it. This is just the beginning. Actions are popping up all over the country because this isn't just at our border. This is all over. There are detention centers for immigrants and increased raids throughout the country. And so this week we'll see actions popping up all over the country, led by Jews and immigrant organizations like Movimiento Concerto. And if you want to get involved in any of those actions, please click the link in the description.
Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go!
Racist ICE has got to go.
Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey!
Group 2B.
Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist ICE has got to go! Hey, hey!
I'm here with hundreds of Jews putting our bodies on the line because we know that it's up to us to stop these atrocities because we can't sit and wait and watch them unfold any longer. And our leadership, Congress, this administration, is continuing to fund ICE and allow these atrocities to occur. And so we can't wait for their leadership anymore, so it's up to us to stop it.
If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! I said if we don't get it, shut it down! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
These are Jews, our community, standing outside of an ICE detention center, linking arms. And they're not moving because we are not going to allow ICE to continue
Repeat after me. Never
business as usual.
Never again. Means abolish ICE. Means abolish ICE. Never again. Never again. Means close the camps. Means close the camps. Never again. Never again. Means now. Means now. Never again. Never again. Means abolish ICE. Means abolish ICE. Never again! Never again! Means close the camp! Means close the camps! Never again! Never again! Means now! Means now!
Hello, everyone! Hello! Okay, thank you so much for walking with us that way. My name is Hannah, and I am here today with you all as a group of Jews differently affiliated who have come together to say that never again means never again for anyone. Repeat after me. Never again.
Never again!
Never again for anyone.
Means never again for anyone!
The anti-immigrant crisis is happening all over the country, not only at the border.
If you're just tuning in,
Camps like this
we are
one
outside a
right here are
ICE
in our
detention
own
facility,
backyard.
hundreds of
I live
Jews
an hour from here
taking a
in
stand
Queens,
against
New York, with my 95-year-old
against concentration camps
Holocaust
in our country,
surviving grandfather, and because
against
of that, I'm
racist
here to say
deportations
never again.
and
We're
raids from
here
ICE
to
on
take
immigrant
local
communities.
action against ICE's detention and terrorizing
We've said never
of immigrant
again for
communities
decades,
today.
and never again is now.
Right now, families are being torn apart. Right now, ICE is terrorizing our neighbors and communities with raids and traffic stops. Right now, children are being imprisoned in concentration camps at the border, denied toothpaste, soap, proper food, medical attention, and the safety community
This is just one,
that all children,
just the first
all
of many actions
people
this week
deserve.
against ICE,
Right now, we know
of
that
Jews saying never again
children who
to
have died.
anything like the Holocaust. And if you want to get involved in an action near you, click the link in the description. We're going to have a campaign call tomorrow night, so click on the link to stay in the loop on that and get involved in your local community.
These are only the stories that we know, and we know there are so many more. We can assume that there are so many more whose stories may never be told, and that is why we are here to bring respect and honor to them. This crisis is not new, and it is not limited to the border. ICE and their deportation machine are attacking immigrant communities across the country. We have seen this before. We know what happens when average people look the other way or wait and see what happens. We refuse to be complicit. We refuse to sit back and hope for change. Never again is now.
Never again is
Now.
Never again is now.
Never again is now!
Never again means abolish ICE.
Never again means abolish ICE!
Never again means close the camps.
Never again means close the camps!
Kids are being detained in horrific conditions. ICE raids targeting our communities and people dying at the border while seeking safety in the U.S. We know that these are signs of a mass atrocity. We refuse to wait and see any longer and see what happens next. We are putting our bodies on the line, and because when we say never again, we mean it. I want to invite up Lee from Cosecha, who's going to share a story about the on the front lines organizing that he has been doing here in New Jersey.
So now we're going to hear from Lee from Movimiento Cosecha, which is a movement of immigrants demanding dignity and respect from undocumented immigrants across the country.
In the past weeks, we have seen many atrocities happening at the border, from separation of families, locking of parents indefinitely, kidnapping, disappearances of minors, children dying in detention centers, and many reported assaulted cases. But today, it's not about detention centers at the border, not just about that, but also about the ones located right here, and about the Democrats' lack of action here locally. The Democrats haven't been able to shut down any private prisons. And you want to know why? Because Democrats, like here in New Jersey and around the country, are addicted to the money-making machine known as detention centers. As they claim to support undocumented people, they are perfectly fine with profiting from our suffering. New Jersey has 17 locations that hold undocumented people currently. Democrats try to calm us down by signing sanctuary city bills, but continue to have contracts between the police and ICE in those same cities. Cory Booker, a presidential candidate raised in Newark, has done absolutely nothing to uplift the undocumented community. The Spanish that we heard at his debate last week is as symbolic to the connection he has to the undocumented community. A real
I'm here
shitty
live
at best.
with hundreds of people outside this
I am
ICE
amazed by the
Detention
courage
Center
today
saying
from
enough
all
is
of you
enough.
to not only speak about a sensitive
And
experience,
never again.
but your willingness to stand in solidarity. It is time
We've
to
seen
do
this
more.
before as Jews.
They want you to be just like sad and be connected
And we
to us, but we
refuse
need
to
to
let it
do
get
more.
any
We need to
worse.
take action. And this is why I ask. We need to immediately end the 287G contracts with ICE and police departments. We need to pass the driver's licenses bill, since we know that is the main reason, year after year, why people are detained, separated, and deported. Most importantly, we need to recognize that we are not victims, that we are fighters, that we are resilient. My people have been here for many, many years, and for those years they've been criminalized, they've been dehumanized, but yet we are here strong and powerful. Thank you.
We have a message that Jews will not stay silent. In the past few weeks, we've heard a lot of politicians, many of them not Jewish, claiming to speak for our Jewish community about this crisis. Expressing more outrage about the words used to describe the conditions in these camps. Expressing more outrage about the words used to describe conditions in camps, like those on the border and right here in Elizabeth, than they ever have about the conditions themselves.
Woo!
Jews won't stay silent while our historical trauma is weaponized to distract from the trauma being unleashed on immigrant communities right now.
We won't!
We won't!
We won't!
As Jews, we have grown up with the stories and messages of the Holocaust deeply ingrained in our people's history. We have survivors in our families and communities. We read books about their lives and visit the places they died. And through all that, we are taught the message, never again. We don't say never again. We don't remember and teach next generations about the Holocaust for remembering it alone. It is our responsibility to carry this message forward in history and never let anything like the Holocaust happen again.
Woo!
Never again!
Never again!
For those just joining us, I'm here with Never Again Action out here in Elizabeth, New Jersey, outside of an ICE detention center. Hundreds of Jews and immigrants and others putting our bodies on the line to stop these atrocities. We're seeing concentration camps, increased raids, and terror in immigrant communities at the hands of ICE, and Congress is doing nothing to stop it. So it's up to us. And this isn't just a problem at the border, this is all over the country. there will be actions this week throughout the country, and if you want to get involved in those, join our campaign call tomorrow night by clicking the link in the description.
The stories of those whose families immigrated here generations back, as well as those ones in the violence harm communities today. Our fight for immigration is down, justice is down.
We want to welcome up Rabbi Salem Pierce, who's going to lead our community in some Jewish ritual.
Hi. I am here today because I have been in the desert of Arizona where thousands of people have died trying to cross. I'm here because I have been to the border in El Paso where people cross every day. I'm here because I have been to a detention center in Otero, New Mexico, and I'm here because I have been outside the child detention center in Homestead, Florida. I have been in and outside concentration camps in this land, and it is my obligation as a moral leader to live that every single day and to say never again is now. I know that. So I'd like to invite you to join me in saying Kaddish for the at least 6 children that we know who have died in immigration custody. There are more who are not named. There will be more. Darlene Cristobal Cordova Valle, 10 years old. Jacqueline Cal Maquin, 7 years old. Felipe Gomez Alonso, 8 years old. Juan de Leon Gutierrez, 16 years old. Wilmer Josue Ramirez Vasquez, 2 years old. And Carlos Hernandez Vasquez, 16 years old. In their memory, let us say together the mourner's Kaddish, the prayer to remember the dead. Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabah. V'yama Tivra, Yurtei, V'yamlik Malchutei, V'chai Echon, V'yom Echon, V'chayei Techol Beit Yisrael, Ba'adalah, V'bizman Kariv, V'yivru, Amen. Yehei Shlei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Olamei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shnei D'Kudashah, V'reichu. Le'ela Mikol Birchata, V'shirata, Shushbechata, V'nechemata, Damiran Be'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom V'imromav, Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Salem Pierce. I don't know about you all, but I got chills hearing
For
that.
those just joining
And
us,
it made my heart break
I'm
hearing
here with
those
hundreds of
names
Jews
and the ages accompanying
outside
them.
of
And it
an ICE
should.
Detention Center
We are
in
becoming
Elizabeth, New
so
Jersey.
desensitized to this atrocity, waiting
And we're
for
here
people
to say that never
what can we
again
do tomorrow?
means
What can really be
never
done?
again.
This problem is
Never
just
again
too
is
big.
now.
And I refuse to accept that. What about you? Because we know that we are here today demanding human rights. This is not too big of a problem. These are basic human rights for safety, care, freedom, and permanent protection for all undocumented immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. We are here today because just this last week, instead of defunding ICE and CPB, Congress voted constant pressure on our elected officials in our district, including these camps, and hold every member of Congress who just voted for that package that gives additional funding to DHS accountable for that shameful decision. When we say When we say never again, we need to mean it. When we say never again, we need to know never again is now. Never again means never again for anyone. Can you repeat that after me? Never again means now.
Never again is now.
Never again means close the camps.
Never again means close the camps.
Never again means abolish ICE.
Never again means abolish ICE.
Never again means never again for anyone.
Never again means never again for anyone.
We know that these atrocities are not new in the United States. These are not the first concentration camps on U.S. soil. From mass incarceration of today to Japanese internment camps of World War II to boarding camps and ethnic cleansing of indigenous people to the kidnapping and enslavement of black folks, this country has a long and painful history of violently imprisoning and tearing families of color apart. Some of us hold these experiences in our own family's memories and histories. Will we allow this moment to be yet another chapter in American history, or will we disrupt it with every tool that we have? And this is just the beginning of a week of action. This is the kickoff event, and we want people to organize in your cities. We are all here of our own volition. We're not under any organization because we knew that never again is now. And when you return to your home, you need to call every single one of your friends and tell them that they need to show up with you. Right? We're going to invite up.
We're gonna invite up Emma Glazer to teach a song.
Hi, everybody.
If you want to take action in your own community, join us on the campaign call tomorrow night through the link in the description. This is the first
Hi, everybody.
of many actions this
I'm going
week,
to be teaching you a song that my friend
and
wrote.
this is all over the country, so get involved in your own community.
To words that were written by his grandfather, who was a Holocaust survivor, and he gave me permission to share this song today. His grandfather's name was Elias Grossman, and he wrote these words reflecting on his experience in Auschwitz. So the words to this song are, "Oh my friends, freedom as I see it is the most beautiful and delicate rose." Those are all the words. And if you want to repeat after me, I can teach it. Yeah? Okay, amazing. So the first part goes, "Oh my friends,
For those just joining us,
freedom as I see
I am here with Never Again Action with hundreds of Jews, immigrants, and others outside of an ICE detention center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And we're here to say that when we say never again, we mean it.
but one part is higher. So it goes,
Never again is now, and never again means never again for anyone.
freedom as I see it.
We've been saying our entire lives that never again will we let anything like the Holocaust happen. And recently, we've been seeing concentration camps in our own country
Bang it all together.
for undocumented immigrants and for children, increased raids throughout the entire country on immigrant communities, instilling terror throughout the entire country. And
The most beautiful.
so this is not just a problem at the border, this is all over.
Oh my friends, freedom as I see it. The most beautiful.
So we're asking you all watching at home to get involved in your community and to take action at a local action near you, because there will be more this week throughout the country. If you want to find out how you can get involved and stay in the loop on this week of action where people around the country say never again, then click the link in the description to sign up for the campaign call tomorrow night.
Oh my friends, freedom as I see it is the most beautiful and delicate rose. Oh my friends, freedom as I see it is the most beautiful and delicate
This is just one of hundreds of ICE detention facilities throughout the United States. And we need everyone to be taking action with us this week. So click the link in the description to sign up for the campaign call tomorrow or find out how you can get involved at home.
Alright, folks, I noticed there is a lot going on, but I want to draw your attention back here. I want to bring up someone who I've known for a very long time, and I'm very excited to introduce her, Amelia. And if you know that if you've ever shared a story in public, you know that it can feel a little scary. And so I want you to all come a little closer, we're a little spread out, and give her your full attention. Thank you. Woo! Hi, everybody. Really close.
All right, my name is Amelia. I am a volunteer organizer with Movimiento Cosecha in Boston. I've been doing this for about a year, and I also am Jewish. So I'm one of, the few here, I think, Jews of color, Jews from the Latino community.
I'm a Latina Jew too. Hi.
Yay!
Jalapenos, right? Jalapenos.
There are more of us here. That makes me really happy because a lot of the time, people who have, dual identities don't feel as though we can occupy spaces like this. We feel as though we're not Jewish enough, we're not Latino enough. So this is a really important space for us to foster so that both of our communities can come together and fight for the rights that everybody in this country should have access to. So my grandparents were in the Holocaust. They were in 2 different extermination camps. Their entire family was killed. Not many of my ancestors made it out alive. My grandparents lived with an entire life of trauma, anxiety, depression, and that is a kind of trauma that is passed down to the generation.
If you're just joining us, I'm here with hundreds of Jews taking action, blocking the entrance to this ICE facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey. People are putting their bodies on the lines because we know that never again means never again, and never again is now. People are being put in concentration camps. People are living in fear of ICE terrorizing their communities. And I'm here with hundreds of Jews standing in solidarity with immigrant communities across the country, saying abolish ICE, close the camps. Never again means never again. We can't wait any longer to see what happens. So we're putting a stop to it ourselves because our administration and Congress is not only doing nothing to stop these atrocities from continuing, but they're continuing to fund it even more. We've been told our whole lives that we would never let anything like the Holocaust ever happen again. So we refuse to wait until the gas chambers are built. We are putting a stop to it now. The protesters here are asking, which side are you on? And we all have that choice to make. If you want to choose the side of justice and freedom and liberation for all, you want to choose the side of an end to concentration camps and racist xenophobia, then take action with us throughout this week. There will be actions all over the country because this is not just at the border, this is all over the U.S. Take action with us by joining our campaign call tomorrow night. You can click the link in the description to sign up.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Tell me to a man, which of you does not have one who came from the forest? Which side are you on? Which side side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
When Jews say never again, we mean it. And that's what we're doing, what we're saying here and demonstrating by blocking the entrance to this ICE detention facility.
Which side are you on?
Never again means never again. Never again means never again for anyone. Never again is now.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
There are already concentration camps in our country, and we're not letting it go any further.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side?
We're putting a stop to it ourselves because Congress and our administration is only funding these atrocities, not doing anything to put a stop to it. And so we're here to say, as Jews, as immigrants, and as many others from multiple organizations and identities, abolish ICE, close the camps, end racist xenophobia. If you want to join us in your communities throughout this week, follow the link in the description to sign up for the campaign call tomorrow night. We need everybody on the streets. The time is now to throw our bodies into the gears of the system, because we cannot let business continue as usual. This is what never again looks like. We are not allowing this to happen again, and we're taking it into our own hands because our leadership in this country is not only allowing it to happen, but endorsing it and funding it. We as Jews, we have seen this before, and we won't let anything like the Holocaust happen ever again. These are our demands. Close the camps, abolish ICE, reunite the families. And we're not moving until they do. Rows of Jews blocking the entrance to this ICE facility. Refusing to move until our demands are met. Abolish ICE. Close the camps. Reunite families. End racist xenophobia. ICE is terrorizing communities, immigrant communities, not just at the border, but all over the country.
We shall not be moved. Abolish ICE. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
We're asking you all watching to join us in the streets this week. Take action in your community. Follow the link in the description to join the campaign call tomorrow night to find out how you can get involved. We need everyone. If you believe in justice, if you believe in freedom, if you believe that children should not be in concentration camps, click that link and join us in the streets. Those just joining us. I'm standing here watching rows of Jews throwing their bodies on the line to shut down this ICE detention facility because our Congress and our administration is doing nothing to do so. So it's up to us, and we as Jews know what this looks like. We've seen this before, and we're here to say never again. And when we say never again, we mean it.
All over the
to speak for our Jewish community about this crisis. Expressing more outrage about the words used to describe these camps than the conditions of the camps themselves.
The words using to describe the camps and the conditions in the camps themselves.
Shame on the police who protect them.
We are Jews and we will not stay silent. While our historical trauma is weaponized to distract from the trauma being unleashed on immigrant communities right now. As Jews, we have grown up with the stories and messages of the Holocaust deeply ingrained in our people's history. We have survivors in our families and communities. We read books about their lives and visit the places where they lived. And throughout it all, we are taught the message over and over, never again.
Never again!
We can't just say never again if we don't remember and teach each next generation about the Holocaust for the sake of remembering alone. That's not enough. It is our responsibility to carry the message of never again forward in history and never let anything like the Holocaust happen again. We have a moral obligation as Jews to call out loud and clear that never again means never again for anyone. We say this too, recognizing that Jewish communities and immigrant communities are not mutually exclusive. Our Jewish community is diverse and vast. We carry with us the history of the Holocaust, along with experiences of displacement and persecution from around the world. We encompass the stories of those whose families immigrated here generations back, as well as those who are facing the violence of the immigration system today. Our fight for immigrant justice is bound up with the continued fight against anti-Semitism.
You're just joining. I'm here with hundreds of people, Jews,
We are
immigrants,
here today
people
demanding
across
human
organizations and
rights,
identities,
safety, care, freedom,
blocking the
and
entrance to an
permanent
ICE
protection
detention
for
facility
all
in Elizabeth, New
undocumented
Jersey.
immigrants, refugees,
We're here
and
to say that
asylum
never
seekers.
again is now. And when we as Jews say never again, we mean
We are
it.
here today because
Never
instead
again
of defunding ICE and CBP,
means never again for
Congress
anyone.
just voted to give them more funding. So we are here to take matters into our own hands. We join our friends in Movimiento Cosecha in calling on everyone on our own Jewish community as well as non-Jewish ones to take action. We need to make it impossible for ICE to continue with business as usual. And that means closing these camps. It means blocking raids, and it means material support for the 11 million undocumented people living in constant fear. It means knowing where the nearest ICE detention center is to where we live and making sure that all of our neighbors know where they are too. It means putting constant pressure on our electeds whose districts exclude these camps and holding every single member of Congress who just voted for a package that gives additional funding to DHS accountable for that shameful decision. When we say never again, we need to truly mean it. Never again is right now, and never again means never again for anyone, never again para nadie.
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
This is not just a crisis on the border. This is across the country.
Immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do?
Therefore, there are actions throughout this week all over the country, and we need everybody to take to the streets with us and demand an end to this atrocity. Click the link in the description to join the campaign call tomorrow night to find out how you can get involved in your own community. We need everybody, Jews, non-Jews, immigrants and non-immigrants, to put an end to this before it goes any further.
We say very often in the Jewish community that we're immigrants. But let's be real, my great-grandparents were refugees. They were fleeing the Grom. They were fleeing poverty. They came here hoping to find a new life and new
Wednesday night, maybe not so much. But one really good thing that did come out of that Spanish experience was a teacher I met named Senora Rodriguez. Senora Rodriguez was the only Spanish teacher at my high school. At my small rural high school in Vermont, who was actually a native Spanish speaker herself. She grew up in Colombia and came here to New Jersey when she was only 19 years old because of the violence that was occurring in Colombia, thanks in large part to violent U.S. drug policy. Now, in most of my Spanish classes, we spent our time studying the culture and the history of various Spanish-speaking countries. But what Senora Rodriguez thought was extremely important was that we study the culture, the history, and the issues facing Latino and Hispanic people here in the United States, which is a very old history. It is older than the history of the United States. Now, one thing we learned about in Vermont was
they're gonna start arresting people.
Undocumented labor, and not just that, but the deportation of these same workers who, like my great-grandparents, have come here seeking a better life, seeking to help their families. This is not a new issue that we're here standing up to.
For those just joining us, I'm here with hundreds of people, rows of Jews putting their bodies on the line to block the entrance to this ICE Detention Center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Because when Jews say never again, we mean it. That's what we're demonstrating here. We refuse to wait until the gas chambers are built or the pogroms start. Never again is now. And never again means never again for anyone. Congress and the administration is doing nothing but funding the concentration camps, the increased raids on immigrant communities throughout the country. They're doing nothing to stop this. They're only funding it. And so it's up to us, the people. We need all of you to join us in the streets this week. If you're ready to join us in the streets this week, participate in some way in your local community, because there are these ICE detention facilities all over the country. Click the link in the description to join the campaign call tomorrow night and get updated, stay in the loop. Stay ready. We need everyone. The police are here with a police van. We suspect they're going to start arresting people soon.
Which side are you on, people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I want everyone to understand why we're singing this song. Right now, there are so many brave young Jews in this street, making it impossible for ICE to conduct business as usual. And right now, this police department is about to make a choice. They can either stand with us against ICE and for immigrants, or they can choose to remove our people and allow ICE to conduct business as usual. There are so
stop ICE from conducting business as usual. This is what never again looks like.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
As Brandon said, the police here have a choice. Will they stand with us and stand with immigrants and refuse to let ICE continue business as usual like we are? Or will they remove and arrest our people, enforcing ICE's racist, horrific, atrocious policies of concentration camps, raids, separating families? People, children have already died in these concentration camps. At least 6 that we even know of. And if we don't stop this now, more will continue to die in these horrible conditions. When our people were put in concentration camps 80 years ago, we said this, we would never let this happen again. Never let anything like it happen again. That's what never again means. And here we are, we're seeing it in our own country. So, which side are we on? We have a choice. Are we going to let it happen again? Or are we going to carry out our values when we say never again? Are we going to mean it? We're asking you to choose the side of justice, the side of immigrants. Choose to refuse ICE to let ICE conduct business as usual. Join us in the streets this week at actions all over the country, disrupting ICE's business as usual by following the link in the description to join the campaign call tomorrow night.
To use this platform
Get looped
that
in.
we have created to hear
Stay
about
updated.
the immigration organizing that is happening right here in New Jersey. I am about to invite Lee from Movimiento Cosecha to come up here and tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Hello everyone, my name is Lee Adorno from Movimiento Cosecha. I was born in Mexico. I came to New Jersey when I was 7 years old, and I have lived in New Jersey for almost 20 years. This time, I'm here with you in solidarity. I thank you for being here because it's a shame. I am ashamed of New Jersey. New Jersey has been profiting from the suffering of undocumented people for decades. New Jersey has 17 detention centers where people are being held right now. This one right here is one of their biggest ones. Privately owned, private money. This suffering has to stop. I'm tired of my community being dehumanized, our dignity taken away, and treated less than people. The separation that's happening at the border, the separation of families, parents being locked away indefinitely, kids being disappeared, children dying.
Shame!
When is it going to stop? And then people get mad because they call them concentration camps, but that's what they are.
Close the camps. Abolish
I want you to
ICE. End family
what we're
separation.
saying, never again. Never again. For anyone. Never again. Para nadie. Never again. For anyone. Never again. Para nadie. call out Cory Booker because he has done absolutely nothing for the undocumented community. He says he supports undocumented people, but he sits down with people that give him money to have cooperation between ICE and police. He wants to pretend that he's an ally by signing Sanctuary City bills, but he has those contracts in those same exact cities. He wants to blame Republicans for everything wrong that's happening, but the Democratic Party is addicted to the money-making machine known as the detention centers. I'm here with you today, undocumented, unafraid, and unapologetic. Because somebody has to call out the lies, somebody has to call out the terrorizing that's happening in our communities. It is time to show people that we will stand this no more, that we will stay here for as long as it takes, and that we are willing to put our lives at risk. Because that is what's happening at the border. The border is not a new crisis. The border has been there for years. Migration has been there for years. But what is new is that we have allowed for people to go to a next level of dehumanization. It is sad that we are at this point that kids are dying in detention centers. So what side are we on? What side are we on?
Justice! Human rights!
Yes.
Not their side.
Never again! Never again! Never again! Never again! Never again!
Never.
Never again!
Never again!
Thank you.
Never again!
Never again!
36
Never again!
Jews
Never
standing in the street, putting their bodies on the line to shut down ICE. Our demands: abolish ICE, close the concentration camps, end the separation of families, reunite families. We're shouting never again because we as Jews have seen this before, and we've been saying for decades, never again will we let anything like the Holocaust happen. Never again means never again.
We're gonna hear from
Never again
another
is now.
Movimiento Cosecha organizer named Dara.
Never again
Give it up
means
for
never
Dara.
again for anyone.
Thank you, everyone. As Lee mentioned as well, we're here in solidarity. We're here standing together. This is a space that's not often shared, and this is a space that we're all truly grateful. We're beginning a new narrative, and we're continuing the fact that the undocumented immigrants that are detained here and everywhere else in the United States, they are not alone. We are not alone. Our communities in all of the U.S. are not alone. We're continuing this narrative that this is not an isolated issue. Never again. Never again is now. We're also here to talk about the 11 million, right? The crisis is not just at the border, and I think we all agree with that. The crisis is everywhere else as well. It's also present here in New Jersey at this moment. As it was mentioned before as well, one of the main reasons as to why our undocumented families are separated, not just in New Jersey, but other states that still do not have any form of protection for those families, like a driver's license that many of us can take for granted. That is one of the main reasons why our families are separated today. One of the most known campaigns at the moment with Cosecha New Jersey is the work around driver's licenses that our families deserve. I don't know if I'm the only one, but growing up I always thought it was illegal to turn on the lights while we were driving in the car. So when growing up, right, we had to wear seatbelts. We couldn't cause any form of trying to think in Spanish, in English, but trying to cause attention to our family while we're driving. And I learned while I was growing up that that wasn't true, that we could actually use the lights in our car. But this is one example as to how continuous trauma affects our everyday lives, right? And one of the main basic needs that we deserve, it's the least that the state of New Jersey and other states that still do not have driver's licenses for families, it's the least that we deserve. So today we're inviting everyone to continue to fight also with Cosecha New Jersey, right? This is a campaign that is local. If you're in New York, if you're in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, New Jersey is the only tri-state left that has not granted driver's licenses for undocumented immigrants. The fight continues. The fight continues. Right now, the state legislators are out in recess having a good time, while our families are risking arrest for driving to work, for driving to school, for wanting to go to the beach. But we, our community, our undocumented community, is not going to rest, because we recognize our power. We recognize that we are not alone, and we're going to continue fighting over the summer, over the year, over these presidential elections that continue to use us as pawns. We're going to continue to show up, because that is what is important, because we are powerful. Thank you.
Could we give one more round of applause to Dara? We are being asked to level up in this moment. It's time to recognize that the crisis is not only at the border. It is time to stop using the undocumented community in the United States as a bargaining chip around the border. And just like we're being asked to level up there, we as a Jewish community are leveling up. We are not going to allow our trauma to be weaponized by politicians to do that. Repeat after me. Never again.
Never again.
Means abolish ICE.
Means abolish ICE.
Never again.
Never again.
Means close the camp.
Means close the camps.
Never again.
Never again.
Means now.
Means now.
Never again.
Never again.
Means abolish ICE.
Means abolish ICE.
Never again.
Never again.
Means close the camp.
Means close the camps.
Never again.
Never again.
Means now.
Means now.
We're out here as Jews to show that when we say never again, we mean it. Never again means close the camps. Never again means abolish ICE. Never again means reunite the families. Never again means never again for anyone. Never again means now. We refuse to wait and see what's going to happen next. We refuse to wait until the gas chambers are built. It has gotten disgusting enough. We're here to end it. Congress recently voted to fund ICE and its terror and deportation machine instead of doing anything to close the camps. And so we're taking the matters into our own hands, because we as Jews have seen this before. We know what this looks like. We have been saying for decades, never again will we ever let anything like this happen again. And we're seeing it happen again. So we have a choice. Are we going to rise up and take to the streets? Or are we going to allow ICE to continue business as usual? Are we going to let this happen again? Or are we going to choose the side of justice, the side of immigrants, the side that our ancestors so desperately needed when they were immigrants in this country? Or when they were facing concentration camps and terror and dehumanization in Europe and Russia and elsewhere around the world, in our own country. We're asking you to take to the streets throughout this week with actions like this one all across the U.S. The time is now. Click the link in the description to join the campaign call tomorrow night to stay in the loop and get involved in your community. There are hundreds of these facilities, these ICE detention facilities around the country, not just this one in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And it's not just a problem at the border. It's not just a crisis at the border, it is a crisis everywhere in this country. Children are in concentration camps and dying. Immigrant communities are terrorized and raided at increasing rates. The police here have a choice. Are they going to continue cooperating with ICE? Are they going to allow ICE to continue with business as usual by removing our people from the streets? Or are they going to stand with us? We're waiting for their answer. When our leaders fail us, we rise up, and that's what we're doing here. 36 people standing in the street blocking the entrance to this detention facility.
¿Cómo están todos? Quiero primeramente decir muchas gracias. I want to first say thank you to everyone that's come here today. Porque esto es lo que necesitamos hacer, unirnos entre comunidades para poder seguir caminando hacia adelante sobre un estado opresor como el que estamos viviendo hoy.
That's why we have to stand together as communities, walk together as communities to stand against an oppressive government like this one.
Mi padre tuvo que emigrar a este país en los 1986 y por la razón que había un terrorismo de Estado donde el Estado mataba a sus propios ciudadanos y mi padre tuvo que venir escapando de eso y cuando ya pudo traerlo nos trajo a este país.
My father had to escape his country and migrate here in the 80s because he had to escape a government, a state that was killing its citizens, a terrorist state. And he brought us over when he was able to bring us to this country.
Si mi padre se hubiera quedado en el país de donde yo vengo, quizás yo no estuviera aquí hablando con ustedes.
If my father would have stayed in the country, maybe I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Por eso es muy importante reconocer que las razones que muchas de nuestras comunidades inmigrantes vienen a estos países, a estas tierras, no es porque querramos, sino porque estamos obligados por muchas otras razones y especialmente por la póliza que Estados Unidos hace sobre Latinoamérica.
That's why we have to understand the many reasons why people have to migrate to this country, the many reasons why they have to come over here, and we have to understand how it's rooted in the policies that the United States has in Latin America.
Estamos aquí en Nueva Jersey y hablo en nombre de miles de familias, inmigrantes y documentales que estamos luchando por la licencia de conducir.
I'm speaking for the thousands of families here in New Jersey, undocumented communities who are fighting for the right to drive with a license without fear.
So I grew up here in Elizabeth and I've seen a lot of these police officers going up and down the streets. I've seen them growing up. I've seen every officer and I'm tired of seeing my community getting kidnapped by immigration officers. And I'm also tired of coming here all the time and highlighting or pretending, right? Many times we come here in different occasions and all we said is just calling out how Trump is doing fucked up things at the border. And sometimes we forget about the Democrats. They're doing the same bullshit here in our city.
shut down Elizabeth, Essex County, and many different counties detention centers because of the money they're making, and the money is going through the parties, and the money is going through the political campaigns like Cory Booker. That's why I stand here today, joining you guys, and thank you again for coming here to say once and for all, never again.
Never again!
And I'm going to say this in Spanish. Nuestra comunidad, la narrativa que muchas veces nos ven a nosotros es como una narrativa de vulnerables y débiles.
Many times, a narrative of being vulnerable and weak is used in our communities.
So now they portray us as a vulnerable and very weak community. But let me tell you something. Our community is not weakness and weak, and it's not that vulnerable as you may think, right? Our community is strong, so I don't want people to concentrate on how vulnerable we can be or how weak they think we are, because the resilience of our people has been going on for years and years. From our country so to those that don't want to see us here, let me tell you this loud and clear. Do not provoke us, because we'll fight back here and forever, and never again this will happen. Thank you. Everyone give it up one more time for Carlos. Alright, I want to give everyone an update about what's going on right now. A few moments ago, the police went back and tried to cut the rocks over in the back towards that gate. And what happened is a line of our people willing to put their bodies on the line, went to cut off that access point for these ICE agents to leave. And the reason we did that is because we're not fucking around. We are not fucking around because it is time to level up. It is time to end just symbolic actions. It is time to actually stop ICE's business as usual. Never again means abolish ICE!
Never again means abolish ICE!
Never again
You heard it here, folks.
Never again
We're being called on to level up.
Never again means now!
Level up our resistance and take to the streets to say never again means now, never again means abolish ICE. Never again means close the camps.
Never again means close the camps!
Never again means now!
Never again is now. Now is the time to take to the streets, take action. And this crisis is happening all over the country. This is just one of hundreds of ICE detention facilities. And these atrocities are happening all over the country. So, viewers at home, click the link in the description to sign up for the campaign call tomorrow to find out how you can get involved in your own local actions, because we need everybody. The police arresting our people in the streets. We gave them a choice. They could stand with us and stand with immigrant communities across the country, but instead they chose the side of injustice. They chose to let ICE continue business as usual. The whole world is watching. For those just tuning in, we're watching Jews being arrested for blocking access to an ICE detention facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We're out here saying never again. Never again for anyone. Never again means close the camps, abolish ICE, end deportations. never again is now. And when we, as Jews, say never again, we fucking mean it. These Jews are standing in the streets to block ICE from conducting business as usual. And now one by one they're being arrested for doing so. We as Jews have been saying never again for years. Never again will we let anything like the Holocaust happen again. So when we see concentration camps popping up, detaining children throughout this country, we are called to say never again, to take to the streets and stand in solidarity with the immigrant communities, with the immigrants in our own communities. This is why the 36 Jews out here today are putting their bodies on the line. Now they're being sent to jail or being taken away in a police van. Because they dared stand up to these atrocities, to deportations, to ICE, to concentration camps. Never again is now. If you're feeling called to action, click the link in the description and join our campaign call tomorrow night. We need everyone on the streets. When we say never again, we mean it. We're putting our words into action. We've been saying for decades we will never let anything like the Holocaust happen again. And folks, it's happening. Increased raids and deportations in immigrant communities across the country, concentration camps, children dying in detention facilities. Never again is now. Now is the time to act. We're being called upon to level up our action, level up our resistance. We're asking everyone to join us in the streets this week at detention centers across the country. Click the link in the description to get involved in your local community. One by one, Jews taking a stand against ICE and racism and xenophobia are being arrested and escorted to police vans. This is the risk we're willing to take to demand an end to the concentration camps, to say never again. Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? This is the risk. We're willing to take risks to demand justice for immigrant communities in our country. We're here to say never again. And we're asking you to take action with us. This is one of hundreds of detention centers across the country. We cannot let this abomination continue.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on?
I'm here with hundreds of Jews saying never again and putting our bodies on the line to stop the racist deportations, to abolish ICE, to stop ICE from conducting business as usual. We're watching Jews getting arrested for blocking an entrance to an ICE detention facility here in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We're here to say enough is enough. Never again is now. Never again means never again. When we say never again, we mean it. These aren't just words anymore. We need to take action. And we're asking you all to take action with us this week throughout the country, wherever you live. Because there are detention centers all over this country. So click the link in the description to get involved now. There's a campaign call tomorrow night where you can get updates on what's happening in your local community and how to participate. And you can click the link in the description to sign up. We need everybody in the streets.
That is never again for anybody. And this starts today. You see this video? Share it.
This is not just a crisis at the border. We're here in Elizabeth, New Jersey, at an ICE detention facility, demanding an end to concentration camps, demanding abolish ICE. The police here just arrested 36 Jews, blocking the entrance to this ICE detention facility.
This is the part where we normally end the action. But this isn't really an end to an action. It's the beginning of a time where we are going to level up as a community. We will no longer accept symbolic rhetoric. We won't even accept symbolic action. We are calling on our people to put their bodies on the line to stop ICE. This is just the beginning of many never again actions across the country. If you want to plan an action in your city, get on our campaign call this Monday night at 9 p.m.
Eastern Standard
Look
Time.
at the link in the live stream, bit.ly/Never Again campaign call.
Monday night, tomorrow, 9 p.m. We are going to be gathering, not just us in the streets today, it is everyone on the live stream, everyone who couldn't be here, and everyone who's going to join us this week. Tomorrow night, tell your friends, bit.ly/Never Again campaign call. You can find it in the live stream link, you can find it on Facebook, you can find it on Twitter. And also, you can create your own ideas. We are a very creative and resourceful group of people, are we not? This is the time to take action into our own hands. If you want to see something happen, make it happen. If you need to see change, you need to make that change happen. No one is going to wait for things to happen. We have to make it happen ourselves.
So we are about to close out the program here, and we are going to walk everyone back to the park that we came from, but we are going to sing one last round.
I also just want to take another second to thank every storyteller who took a risk and came up and shared their story in front of us today. So much. And thank you to everyone who put aside a bunch of other responsibilities that you had today and came and put your body on the line by marching with us. We appreciate that and we see that. Thank you.
And one more thing, let's also thank all the folks from Movimiento Cosecha, especially. For leading on this issue, not just in the last several weeks, but for years.
We're not going to leave quite yet. We don't want to leave our friends who are inside these vans. We're going to wait here until those vans leave. And I also want to remind us on our walk back, please follow the marshals. We are walking through heavily trafficked areas.
If anyone needs a ride,
If anyone needs a ride, there are cars. If you have a car and can give people rides, please raise your hand. Okay, there are several people with cars who can give rides back. Thank you.
So let us continue to sing so our friends in the van can continue to hear us about how appreciative we are.
All right, thank you all so much for joining us. You heard him say it. Click on the link in the caption, in the description, to join the campaign call tomorrow night and get involved in your community. Come up with your own actions, join in action. This is happening nationwide. Both these atrocities and therefore all of these actions. So when we say never again, we mean never again for anyone, nationwide. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the streets.